cloud. All right, so kind of along with our theme, or I don't know if I like the word theme, but our credo in the group is no more religion or Torah B. So as I was speaking with Jacques the other day, came to it's a meditation in the car ride home, and I realized that God, and obviously in religion, is extremely evangelical in every faith, Islam, Christian, Jewish. God is supremely evangelical. Now, when I was into religion, and I think you all can relate to this, I had many, many spiritual experiences, which my evangelical bias led me to initiate an evangelical experience with God. You see how it's an innate bias? It's like we have a drive, an inclination towards evangelicalism, and God must be evangelical. There must be a God. See how it all comes together? So I'm looking for God, God's looking for me. Oh, I found God. Of course, it was an evangelical experience. Now, the experiences began, which again, I think you can relate, before you understand religion and you're in the real world. And the real world is kind of scary because without God, when we're younger, it's kind of savage out there. And there's not much meaning. There's a lot of negativity. So then you have your spiritual awakening or experience. Maybe it's drugs, maybe it's an adventure, near-death experience, religious enlightenment somehow, right? You're going to get turned on to something going on, and you have your God experience. And we can even say it's pure, right? Whatever it is, but you don't know anything. You're a novice, naive, and now you have this thing that there's heaven, there's a God. Have you all been there? We go from the darkness into, wow, God is real. And then you go into heaven is real. And again, I'm speaking for myself, but I had a very, very, very Christian experience because I grew up in Dayton, Ohio, in Christianville. And so when I came to my experience was finding wisdom. I think that was the first thing I found. And I was experimenting with many forms of wisdom. And then when it came time for God consciousness, the only you say in Hebrew, kalim, the only way I had to internalize this was through Christianity, growing up in Dayton, Ohio, right? Think about it. There's a God. Then there's like this, cloud heaven. You know what I'm saying? The visualization of the reality of now that there is God in how old was I? 19 years old. The only thing I can put together is Christianity, trying to make it somehow Jewish. I didn't believe in Christianity. And then like you're sucked into religion. Now I'm asking questions, like who's Michael the angel? What is the nature of heaven? All these like kind of Noahide-ish questions. Back then there was not much internet. I had a web TV a couple years later, but I think because the searching was so hard. This was 1997, 98. Is that right? Like 97, 98, I think so. And there's no internet, there's nowhere to go, struggling, trying anything to find wisdom, and it was rough. Web TV comes out around 2000, and so there was ancient online stuff, and the only answer that made sense was religion. And very, very short order after, I'm going to be in yeshiva, and now God is the God of religion, and now I'm stuck. And so God, it became highly evangelical, and I lived an evangelical life for 20 years. Then you start to realize that evangelical is not right for a zillion reasons, which religion Torah be. And I think I'm back to my original premise that wisdom is the thing. Only now I understand wisdom really ideally is it's Torah wisdom. I'm not so quick to go looking into Buddhist wisdom, like I would have done at 20 years old. So the Torah is the wisdom, and there is a God, but I'm okay with wisdom. It's in the real world, there's no religion, Torah be. I'm okay. I feel good with wisdom and Metatron. Using the divine technology, so to speak. Then it occurred to me the other day that there's still a God. And I think this is the Abraham, Isaac, Jacob program. That eventually, once you shed religion in Torah B, I think now there is no God, and you're not going to find God if you don't know God. And I mean exactly know. It's very, very easy to know and find God through evangelicalism. Very, very easy. I mean, just get excited, and it's the revelation of the Shekinah, right? But in the real world, you don't get close or horseshoes, Dixie. You got to actually know. You got to know exactly where to find God, what God's doing. And again, you can't think of it as like this man, I know what he's doing. I know what he is. I know. You speak that way, but that's not it. Like, we know it's not that, and yet it's not religion. It's not evangelical. So there's got to be this identification and search for God in the real world. And I don't have any answers yet. This is just an introduction to an ongoing thing. But when I started my day, I had a nice meditation. I lost it. And then I kind of came back to it throughout the day. I had a very hard day. But I think last night I made a declaration to self that I would try to find God today. The first thing I saw today was Metatronic breakdown, my internet, my GPS, a lot of Metatronic breakdown. And so I understood that I think that's God. Like, I think the point is every day you wake up, God is with you. God is that thing, that dynamic in your life. And I think if you think God is good as you know good, you are not going to find God, because God is very not good. Meaning, not good if I get a flat tire. God thinks it is good if I get a flat tire. So as long as I think the flat tire sucks and it's hell, I'm dafka missing God. What if through this flat tire, it opens the door to the next thing in my life? So if you are anti-stress and bad and this and that, that's exactly how God brings godliness to you. Like today, I did an installation and the software didn't work, and I had to cancel my other meetings. Bad. But because my day was thrown off, it changed my perspective, it changed my flow. Work-wise, I had an incredible day because so many things changed and opened up for me that had I stuck to the schedule, I would have missed all of this. But I think that's God. I'm not sure. Certainly not a polished thought, but my working premise is that's God. It's that thing, that It's above the mazel. The mazel is, the software broke, this and that, but the drive of the mazel, the meaning, the message, the depth, the opportunity is God himself driving. He's the guts and glue of your life. I think it starts every day. You wake up in the morning, you need to meditate what's going on today. Every day there's an inyan, there's a thing going on. What's the inyan? And I don't mean, you don't need to be so profound. Like for me, I just realized the internet's slow, GPS is not working. There's just, that was it. Maybe some mornings you're super tired. Maybe some mornings you have energy. Maybe some mornings you get a phone call at 4 in the morning. I don't know. Just whatever it is, I think it is God. And then it just continues through the day, and you got to try to connect and let God do his thing. And you need to sanctify God by saying Hashem Hu Elohim. All right. I think that's my spiel. And I'll open it up for questions or comments, and I got to get to bed. Go ahead. Unmute. Questions, comments, feedback, whatever it is. Anyone?
I want to say I totally agree with what you're saying. And the more we are on this walk, the more it just comes to light that you think that God is in everything. God is literally, you don't go to a gym to build muscle without using weight. And all the things that happen in our lives, the good things and the bad things, is still good, but it depends on what is your perspective. And as soon as you feel, you know what, even the flat tire, that maybe saved you even an accident, that's so good. Like,
yeah, you need to get over your distaste for God, because God is very distasteful. The flat tire, God is not concerned with your comfort or distaste. And you just gotta go with those lumps and realize this is God himself. I mean, think about that level of profound. It's God himself in your life. And
it's a very hard thing for people to really understand when you tell them. And people, I mean, I've got a colleague, and I have to say I'm very blessed that we've got these deep conversations at work where he lost his brother. He's not happy, he's depressed, and all that type of things. And I said to him the other day, I get where you're coming from, totally. I haven't lost a brother or a sister, Baruch Hashem for that. But the thing is, my life really changed when I decided to, and there I have to thank Jacques for pointing that out for me, where I started to pray just to one God, not to a Jesus, not to a, and just know that everything that comes over my way is good. I won't be able to see it maybe right now, but it's still good. And
that's what I'm saying. It's like, once I let go today, look, I'm going through some hard stuff. I think we all are. I mean, my life is a mixed bag. There's aspects of my life that have never been better. Other aspects of my life have never been harder. I mean, I'm really a mixed bag. So I don't appreciate the great stuff because I'm bitter over the bad stuff. Well, as anybody would be, right? If I gave you a great dinner, but put a fly in your water, you wouldn't be filled with a great dinner. You'd be upset, why can't you have a glass of water without an ant or a fly in there, right? But, so again, great dinner, bad water. But at the end of the day, it's God over all of it. So the highs and the lows just kind of cancel out, because you don't get to appreciate the high because you got to go low, and the low isn't so bad because you had a great dinner anyways, but they cancel out. And the glue under all of it is God himself. And I think once you take the full terrain of your life and everything in the middle, and you realize this is God, I think it really does open a new perspective, because then I think you can let go of the highs and let go of the lows and deal with the middles and everything opens up in a cohesiveness, but you really got to grasp the whole picture of your life. And I think each day is a snapshot of this.
I've got one thing to ask on this topic, and I think the reason why I'm asking is because I understand that God's in everything, and everything is good, and I'm okay with that. But there was a post that Jacques posted. I think it's in Jacques, and you posted it. Where no, sorry, you guys didn't post. It was something else that I actually watched from any case, but it comes down. It was on a parashat reading, a video. I actually posted it on the group as well, where everything is good, but how can I explain it? God's doing everything in life, and the question I want to ask is, do you go and aim for more and work towards more in your life? And then the question is, what is more? Or are you content with what you have, even if it makes you almost like how do you say, without drive? Where do you put the balance though? Because if you go for something and you press for that, it's like you said in the beginning, your tendency leads you to
I think you bring up a good point. I think you bring up a good point. Is God is, and this is how I understand the point, is, as I said, God is not evangelical. So if my life is fantastic, it's not. You're a liar, because you're choosing to view it evangelically. The nature of life is not like that. So if you're saying it's like that, you're being evangelical, and that's the nature of being evangelical.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say your life is hell, you're a negative evangelical, right? Yeah. Oh, you won't believe what the guy at the store did to me. Oh, no one's out to get you. Okay, at the grocery store, they're not out to get you. You're being evangelical in the negative. You know what I'm saying? Oh, these people are always looking to get. No, they're not always looking to get you. So
life is not always about you, right?
Right. You can be negative evangelical, and I know a lot of them. You can be positive evangelical. But like you said, it's the balance. God is not evangelical. And so your life is going to have the guy out to get you, and you're going to have the amazing opportunity, and you're going to have blah. But it's all of it, which is the essence of balance. And again, if you don't have something a thorn in your side, Jacques, you have one, you know what I'm talking about. Where's the balance? Number one, you have to have the opportunity to be a negative evangelical and to reject that. And at the same time, you need to have a positive evangelical and still reject that and say, okay, things are going really good in this camp, but resist the need to be a constant evangelical, because then it loses its validity. You can't say everything is not 100% every day. It's just, you will get a flat tire at some point, or someone's going to be out to get you. The tax man, something's going to go wrong, and therefore, and sometimes there's just nothing, not good or bad. There's just, what's going on today? Nothing, no phone calls, no action, nothing. So in the midst of all of that, there's got to be the balance, and that balance is God. Anyhow, it's a little bit late. I do got to sign off. Let's close it there. We'll pick it up next week. This will be a topic that we're going to go back to each week. It's God for all we're saying. So there will be more Torah, this and that, but this is definitely here to stay. All right. So have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Yep.